Montana really has been an example that for the rest of the nation in our response to this global pandemic, and it's all Montanans because we've taken this seriously. Look, we shut down our schools for states like New York, New Jersey, Washington State, did a stay-at-home order before over half of the states in the country, and we continue to have the lowest number of positive cases and hospitalizations per capita. And it really has been the collective actions of Montanans that have contained the virus in our state, allowed us to move forward with a phased reopening. Just yesterday, I announced that we'll enter phase 2 on June 1st, and we got to recognize we can't prevent all COVID-19 cases. But what we can do, there are things that we can do that allow Montanans to have some sense of a normal life while preventing major outbreaks or overwhelming our state's healthcare system. Just as we still ask Montanans to take this seriously, we're going to continue to be ramping up our ability at the state level to respond to any new positive cases that might occur. We continue to ensure and do everything we can to make sure healthcare workers have the supplies they need to both treat COVID-19 and non-COVID-19 patients. And we've been ramping up our testing capacity to meet a target of 60,000 tests a month and prioritizing tests for vulnerable Montanans and tribal communities and those frontline workers. Increased testing continues with sentinel testing efforts in nursing homes, assisted living facilities, testing events in tribal areas, who was on the phone earlier today with 2 of our tribal nations, and drive-through testing that's being conducted in few sites. And we have a current ability to contact and trace, along with plans to add additional contact tracers to the existing workforce. I have no doubt that we can continue to be really a good example of how to manage this virus if Montanans, businesses, and visitors alike continue to take seriously the responsibility that we have in protecting all Montanans. We really have wanted to have the data control this along the way. The health science also recognize, that people are hurting now. And what we all have to recognize as we gradually reopen up things, that it's not like the virus has gone away. And what we want to do is contain and mitigate the risk as additional cases come up in Montana, which they sure will. But based on what we put with that phased reopening plan, I am comfortable that we have both the testing capability, the PPE and the healthcare abilities that we need, as well as ensuring then that as we go to this, we'll have the contact tracing along the way for when new cases come up. We're always in some respects talking about what happened 2 weeks ago, meaning that the cases that we see today might have been a transmission from 2 weeks past. So we want to make sure we're opening in a way that we can stay open. We have to recognize what we're doing is mitigating the possibility of this virus, not completely eliminating it right now. And that's another reason why we're really amping up testing. There was questions about, do you have to be symptomatic to get tests? In some communities, we're having drive-through testing right now for everyone that might want to get one. And as we'll continue, because our supplies are getting much better, we want to have those possibilities for folks out there in our communities, because not only does that make sure that, if someone is positive, we can track them down that much earlier, but I think that additional testing is only going to help sort of consumer confidence in getting out in our communities. Well, the threat is not over. And, I've heard anecdotally stories of Montanans not following the guidelines we laid out in phase 1. Montanans and businesses need to understand these guidelines, which were actually developed in consultation with not only public health, but many of those business associations. And they're in place to really protect people from COVID-19 and allow us to move forward with phases. We're certainly continuing to strongly encourage Montanans to wear a cloth non-medical mask when you're in places like grocery stores, to practice social distancing, because it's one of these where, we're good as Montanans at taking care of our neighbors. And what we're really doing when we do that is protecting our neighbors. And it's, so I've been, every time I've had a press conference or others, strongly encouraging folks to do that, and strongly encouraging businesses to follow the guidelines as well, because no business wants to be known as the site where a cluster outbreak began. We'll continue to harp on this at the state level, and I know that a lot of our local officials are doing the same.